Yeah, let's start with the maps here to have a look at the maps they picked. It should be. It says play on 3 here, but this is Wood League, so it's a single elimination. They're just using the same draft preset, so it's a best of 3 for Wood League. Belcourt, being the Australian Sea captain, has picked Arabia to begin with. And the Brazil player has gone for Arena. So we have one open and one closed map. Then they've been banding down to the designated starting map, which will be Golden Lakes, which is like, sort of like a hybrid between Cross and Golden Pit. Kind of a fascinating map to follow. Plays sort of similarly to Arabia, like an open scouts, archers, knights style map, but at the same time not, because there's emphasis both on the edges and the middle. So could also have a look at the civilizations picked here. I would expect, for example, something like Lithuanians to be the pick for Golden Lakes, but that's been banned here. Ethiopians likely, well, that works for both Arabia and Golden Lakes, honestly. But anyway, it's been crossed out, so that's actually a good snipe from Brazil. Then we have Britons. That's a given on these open land maps, that you just get rid of Britons. Faster working archery ranges, such a powerful team bonus. And Britons on their own with the extra range on the archers as well, very frustrating. Spanish. Arena ban maybe? Portuguese, definitely an arena ban. Spanish, not too sure about that one, but maybe that's a good one for Golden Lakes as well. Golden Lakes. Guriara's just an overall annoying seem to be up against. Hard to defend against with all of their options. But first map, Golden Lakes. Japanese comes to mind, Persians, Italians, and possibly Huns. Or Dravidians, since it's the only map in holding water. So maybe Dravidians, Japanese. Hindustanis, Italians. Hindustanis could be in Arabia pocket as well. Whereas for Brazil, let's have a look here. A bit less obvious, maybe. Franks for the castles in the middle, maybe. Berbers. Bulgarians for castles and posts. And finally, yeah, I'm not too sure about the last one. Teutons maybe. Solid pockets here. But let's go into the game now and have a look. I'll start with Australia's seaside here. We have the real hot soup, as the Italians here. Top side, playing in red. Italians, they have cheaper fishing ships, so it's easier to get that fish economy going with Italians. They also have other bonuses applying to water. So pretty much the go-to on the naval and hybrid maps, and also with a unique unit from the castle, the Genoese crossbowmen. The Italians have a nice ranged counter to all kinds of cavalry armor class units as well. Now in the pocket we have Choo as the Huns. I thought that might have been an Arabia style pick, but it works for Golden Lakes as well for sure. Huns never needing to build houses, makes for a good aggressive civilization. Never really need to build houses, so they also have a fantastic potential for a fluid fish boom while still supporting their army units, military units of choice. In the other pocket we have Belcourt, Persians. That's sort of a given for these naval maps. The docks work faster as we approach the feudal age and onwards. and also have twice the hit points, so it's tougher to take out the Persian docks, and they also work faster so you can get the fish out sooner. You could also go straight to the dock as the Persians and just commit a little bit to straggler trees in the beginning, if you'd like to, because Persians start with 50 extra wood, so you could instantly dock and still afford a fishing ship nice and early. But that's more of a no-bad play with the extra starting wood than on a fixed start position play like this. Finally, Nixie with the Dravidians to the right here, playing in the orange. Dravidians are granted an extra 200 wood once they reach the next stage, and they also provide as a team bonus +5 population space once they drop a dock. Looks like the timing is a bit off for Nixie here with the wood for the dock, or just forgot to click it. Small walling in the villager because she does not have loom yet, just to be on the safe side, and keeps the scout close, but now with the small walls up, we're fine. That dock is going to go up for Nixie for sure. So yeah, the Dravidians also have, with their 200 extra wood, comes in handy for naval fighting, but it also comes in handy for land wars, in the sense that you can instantly afford your blacksmith in addition to double ranges because of that extra 200 with a regular build order for the straight archers. Let's have a look at Brazil here. Capitinga as the Chinese on the flank here. Started with extra villagers, has a little bit of idle time here, as Chinese always will have. But it's, yeah. It's due to 0 food to start with here. We have 5 on wood, but that's quite common for these hybrid start maps to have 5 wood to be able to drop your dock and to produce fishing ships consistently. But yeah, Chinese losing their 3 villagers advantage here because of the fact that over 1 minute of idle time has been passed here, so now matching the others rather than have that villager lead that you often see Chinese having in the hands of players that play Chinese very frequently, but there's still respectable idle time for the Chinese. They're keeping up with the others, and as the ages go on, Chinese will have cheaper technologies, cheaper gillnets in Castle, cheaper fletching, cheaper double relax, all of these standard go-to technologies for maps like these will both save them resources and allow them for quicker, smoother tech switches. As we have a scouts fight here, and Capitinga about to lose the scout perhaps. Nope, they're going to focus the villager instead. Still will be getting good trades here, Australia Sea, I think. That's a great save by Brazil actually. Neither the villager nor the scout goes down. Well, here comes green to join in as well, the Berber scout, but finally the villager goes down. Nixie determined to take out that docking villager there, so that's 1 villager down for Brazil. Now back to the Sibs. In the pocket we have Spectro as the Berbers. 10% cheaper cavalry in the Castle Age, 20% cheaper cavalry in the Imperial Age. Also has a response to Han's cavalry archer play in the unique unit from the castle of the Berbers, the Camel Archer, which might see play here if the Berber player opts for some cavalry archer play. Bart in the Bulgarians pocket here, dropping a barracks but going to go for the scouts here. Bulgarians probably for castles and krepos to contest the middle here. And with the unique technology stirrups from the castle, the Bulgarians also have faster attacking cavalry and conics. And finally, our SB9 the Saracens has lost 1 villager here. Looks like that might be the docking villager as well. As we enter the feudal ages, we should be seeing... Okay, there's galleys in production from red, probably to be expected up north here from the Italians. Whereas the pockets should be producing the scouts. 3 scouts in the queue now for Choo Choo with the hounds, denying the walls of grey here, giving the villagers some damage, and while waiting for the follow-up scouts to join in. Hunt's team bonus also 20% for faster working stables. So Hunt's with a bit of an advantage in the army production early on here. Good job at keeping the walls open here. Gets joined in by the Italian starting scout as well. Not really much help in the red one here, but it's could still help scout, and I think that's a misclick from red, but pounds away at the Saracens TC like there's no danger here because there aren't any villagers garrisoned. Down south there's some naval action in the waters. Looks like Nixie is on top of things here with the orange fire galleys successfully assuming some position here. There's 2 docks for each, so it might still be possible for the Chinese to catch up. Chinese have an easier time defending against fire galleys as well, because their demolition ships, I believe, deal more damage. But it's Australia in the lead here. There are more villagers, they have more military at this point. Now Bulgarian scouts here fighting. Oh, Australia fighting dangerously close to the Brazil town center there, but seem to be fine now. Yeah, it's 4 fire galleys out now as Kapitinga in the blue here is stacking up units inside the docks. Nixie will need to stay collected here to always so dangerous to keep the fire galleys this close. That's like begging to be hit by demolition ships, but seems to be okay now. Very big scout there from Spectro, not really a threat. This feels like almost an overcommitment on water from the Italians here, but you certainly want to secure that fish for your free, sort of almost free food income as well. Not entirely, but close to. You don't need to seed in the farms for a long time if you successfully control fish in these lakes, and there's plenty of fish as well for these 4v4 map generations. Nice little pick off from Bart over here. It's a Bulgarian scout, as we see some beginnings of a team wall forming here for Australia by the looks of it. So at least the 2 pockets and Nixie in the Dravidians flank will be connected. Oh, it's a comeback for the Chinese on water here, is it? Nixie must have not expected this much of a comeback from the Chinese at this point. There's two docks for each, but a very patient massing of units here from the blue player. Good demolition ship hit as well as the fire galleys pulled back for potential repairs, but the blue scout is here, probably has dealt with that that docking villager. Looks like Kapitinga is getting back on water against the Dravidians here, which is an accomplishment in itself. And the 3rd dock going up as well. Will boost the fishing combo, of course, but more importantly will allow for more fluent production again. Nixie now exclusively producing demolition ships here, which is fine as long as Kapitinga is only making fire galleys. Oh, that's not a great demolition hit, unfortunately. Hits the weakest one there. Now back to the land action. The team wall efforts are being denied by Bart's scouts masses here. So now Brazil are getting back into it here. They've lost the pond up north to the real hot soup. No dock here whatsoever from Brazil anymore, so that's advantage Australia there. But with the scouts entering here, this could be dangerous for the real hot soup. Looks like the pocket Choo-Choo is able to complete the walls over here though, so the only player threatened by the scouts movement currently is the real hot soup in the red. Spectral dealing with the forward scouts of Balquard as well. So we see most of Australia progressing towards the Castle Age. Spectro is already there with the Berbers, exactly where you want to be with the Berbers. I'm not too sold on the second town center though, but maybe there's enough fish here to sustain both 2 town centers and double stable production here from the Berbers at this point. On an open land map, that wouldn't be the case. Then you'd usually see the Berbers player stay 1 town center for longer to boost the stable production, but then again you'd often see the Berbers go triple stables on open land maps like Arabia. Choo-Choo trying to break through here, about to reach the cast stage as well with the 11 scouts, worthy of a light cav upgrade, I should say. Spearmen chasing these scouts, but they seem to have some of the fuel edge upgrades in. Oh, great! Still great trades from Red's Spearman here. Still open and taking the very forward gold here, but once the cast stage kicks in, this should be a good easy spot for the real hot soup, who has now gone into some archers investment on land as well. Third town center going up for the Berbers, securing a woodland and another gold here, while doubling up on the offensives towards the Dravidians' flank. Well, it looks like Choo-Choo has been able to get into Bart's base here as well. Did go for the light cav upgrade. Gives the scouts quite a bit of a boost here with some extra hit points, stats and whatnot. But for now, just pounding away at houses. The woodland's still open here. It's an easy quick wall for Choo-Choo, but no for Bart, but not taking the chances there just yet. Camels of the Berbers not successfully getting into the Dravidians' base just yet. Remaining scouts to be cleaned up north, and Australia seems to have their bases stabilized here now. Only Red missing the last bit of wall to keep the base safe off enemy military. Once this town center completes, though, there's a potential point of entry for Brazil here if they want to risk it, but maybe not. Very compact base here for the Dravidians. Triple ranges as well. Maybe we'll get to see some elephant archers at some point. Light cav still doing work here, hitting the woodland of Bart, going to offset the economy lead that Brazil has established here. That's due to the fish down south, I guess. Pure village account, it's a bit harder to distinguish here in this overlay, but it seems somewhat similar in the actual village account, but the fish investment is higher for Brazil. Lots of fishing ships in the deep fishery, and that's going to be an issue actually, because we need to see or plant fish traps as the fish runs out, and the big pond in the back here is about to be depleted, and that causes a gap in the food economy unless you start seeding farms in time. And it looks like they're, well, the Berbers player definitely on top of things here, but Teal maybe going to struggle a little bit more for food in not too long here, once the fish runs out. Crossbow Knight combo here from Bulkboard and Nixie. They are breaking through on the Chinese flank side here now, forcing the camels of the Berbers to pull back as well. Great offensive by Australia Sea on the designated neutral starting map here now. They are pushing on both sides. No team has gone for the middle just yet, but eventually they'll need to move into the middle for gold access as well. But pushing on land like this certainly frees up some time for you to extend your economy at home and extend further into the middle as damage gets done. Pretty decent Knights count there from the Bulgarian player, but also lacking upgrades compared to the Persians. +2 is in for yellow here, and the crossbow also finds a nice choke point here as Choo-Choo sends in even further masses of units here. Finally, the Castle Age is in for Kapitinga as well, and we'll see the Chinese player transition into land armies. He has to. Here goes the range. So the investment to take the southernmost pawn for Kavitinga here is certainly cost Capitinga here. It's a land investment getting significantly delayed. Great attention from the Australian team here as well to contest the resources at home base. They're moving into the middle for the town center as well to start collecting the middle resources. Just an overall good push here by the Australian team, forcing Brazil seriously on the back foot here. Top side, they're not too worried about RSB9, the Saracens player here, by the looks of it. It's a couple double ranges from Grey. Crossbow numbers, yes, that could be dangerous if when or if Grey moves out here, but forced on the defensive here now as Australia move into the pocket position over here. You see Australia going into the middle as well. The real soup goes for a another town center number 4 at home base, but the orange and purple player now going into the middle as well to secure continued gold access. You can see how Australia are hesitant to pull out of, to stay inside of the Berbers pocket base here. They know that there aren't going to be reinforcements close. They may even know that they risk having a 3 versus 1 scenario here. So if Spectro pulls the cavalry over here, oh, never mind, there's another wave of units over here, but if Spectro had pulled the Knights and Campbells over here, that could have been very bad news for Choo-Choo's and the Renal Soup's armies here, facing a 2 versus 3 kind of situation. This should be a good fight for Spectro in the pocket. Cleaning up all of the Persians' cavalry units here, so Nixie will need to retreat, going to retreat towards the town center in the middle, revealing that some middle expansion has happened here. Berber's cheap cavalry being put nicely to work here, but is it going to be enough to sustain Brazil throughout the game here? We'll need significant pocket military coverage here to keep the Australia masses out here. Look at the military numbers, it's like yeah, 50 more military for Australia, and they're also on top of things economically. Expanding further into the middle, here comes the very first castle as well. Hunts with the castle, that could mean a Tarkan investment at some point as well to more efficiently take out buildings. But now Australia, the Hunnic pocket is deep into things here. 27 knights in the middle here, and the crossbows will be going down as well. But they're really forcing Brazil to stay at home base to defend here as well. It's like 4 armies of Brazil fighting against 2 armies of Australia here. It's scrambling to defend the Berbers pocket here to ensure continued pocket army production here for Brazil. It does cost Brazil now still behind Australia, but that's a huge cleanup of armies of Australia as well. This is not Switzerland. Did I say Switzerland? What? Oh, that's what you're saying. Every caster should only cast Swiss games on the Nations Cup. Well, I did say I would take suggestions. So I guess we'll need to look into that. Switzerland OP. No, I know I wrote wrong country first yesterday, so now you had me confused. Arbles is in for the Italians here. Only player in the Imperial Age so far, with all of Australia going up here as well. As Brazil tried to claim the middle, but that's not going to last and prolong this castle, because the Hunnic player about to reach the Imperial Age, as well as Bulkport, and they both have castles in the middle. Italian's castle on top of the hill here as well. Perfect place to to push with credit. It's alright, bullet 10 hours. So the trebuchet needs to pop out here, or alternatively some bombard cannons from the Italians if chemistry is in. Let's have a look at the land harvest joining in here as well. Conscription first, okay. No, do they not know about the castle maybe? Oh, they don't know about the castle yet. Okay, so no need to stress the trebs if you don't know there's a castle in the middle, I guess. Only one player from Brazil going to Imperial Age so far, that's the Bulgarians player, who likely is with stone in the bank, 6 on stone. Saracens player has taken huge eco losses here, that's both fish early on and later on villagers at home base, but fortifying the base at home with castles. Problem with securing your home base like this, yes, you secure your farming economy, but you are losing gold access, and how are you going to get gold access if you can't hold the middle on golden lakes like this? Couple of siege workshop from the Dravidians, that should be the armored elephants perhaps? So all of Australia in the Imperial Age now. The economy situation is dead even here, but Brazil lacking behind in the progression in the ages here. It looks like we're having some gold issues for the Berbers as well, or trying to drag out. No, not really. There's some gold access here for Spectro, but also going into light cab here to upgrade into Hussars for the eventual Imperial Age, but doesn't look like we'll be seeing the Berbers in the Imperial Age for a while just yet. Where is the Dravidian Arbalest upgrade? There it is. Pavise coming in for the Italians as well, boosting the stats of the ranged armies of the Italians. 3 trebuchets moving further out now as the middle castle has been taken down. Maybe this should be their next target, or maybe they just dive in to try and push. Yeah, looks like we're pushing the Saracens here maybe. Janitors! That's not a unit you see every day. It's the unique unit of the Berbers, or the team unique unit of the Berbers. Looks like we have some raids from the Persians down here as well, keeping the Chinese player at home base while pushing the middle as well. And I was saying siege elephants for the Dravidians, but looks like it's going to be the bombard cannons here, and these Berbers castle won't be staying up for long. Huge army masses now with great timing for the Huns and Persians here. Look at the HP difference here. It's massive military lead. We have the Arbalists of the Dravidians here as well, and they don't even care about the castle fire, because that castle will be going down to the trebuchets and bombard cannons soon enough. The Berbers boom is getting massively contested here, and it looks like the first game is going to Australia C on the designated neutral home map, Golden Lakes. Oh, thanks. Wrong overlay. I appreciate the message on that. It was a bit annoying that I didn't realize that. At least we'll have it sorted for the upcoming games. Okay, so a little look at the stats here now, while pouring another coffee. The real soup took responsibility for the top pawn for the Italians early on, secured that one. Nixie was looking good in the south against the Chinese as well, but Kapitinga managed to get back with some well-placed Chinese demolition ships and a reinvestment in army. But it did cost Kapitinga, so maybe that played right into Australia's hands, that Nixie was forcing Chinese players to invest a lot to take the bottom here, and that allows the land armies to set back the Chinese and never really get to contest the land as much as they'd like. Very dominant KD here for the Reload Soup with the earliest Imperial Age here with the Arbalest, Power Spike, and Juju with some great Huns. Yeah, both pockets here with some very much positive KD ratios here. We will be going to Brazil East home map next, which is Arena. So that could shake up things significantly with a closed map start, where it's a bit more like a chess game, right? Because you actually can't scout what your opponent is going for. You're going to have to speculate into what kind of unit choices and combinations they'll be going for. But first let's toggle out the civs we've already seen here. What was the last one? Bulgarians. Whereas the winning civilizations here we'd had the Persians, Italians, Dravidians, and finally the Huns. We are going into Arena next, which sort of, well, it has to be Poles, right? Poles, Burgundians, Bohemians, potentially Khmer, potentially Teutons. Nah, Teutons, I guess. Okay, so Poles, Bohemians, Burgundians, Teutons, that would be my idea. Possibly Sicilians as well. Whereas for Australia, Turks, perhaps. Slavs, perhaps. Goths, more of an off-pick. Cumans. Go to for Arena, I'd say. Koreans. So Cumans, Koreans, Turks, Slavs, if I'm going to make a guess here. But let's have a look. Let's go Aussies, says Tricky Mickey. Indeed. Yeah, we'll do. Here comes Arena. We have the Goths. Okay, okay. Nice. Nice. So Arena, closed map start here, should give us plenty of time to talk through the civilizations at work here. Nixie with the Koreans on the, what should we say, west side flank here. Back in the day, or not, I guess it's still possible to go double castle war wagons. That's pretty much an all-in double castle play for the Koreans. Can be hard to stop, especially in 1v1s, but also in team games. It would at least force the opponents to really react to that with probably coordinating more than just one teammate to hold it off. Such a strong unit when massed, and on a closed map like Arena it's possible as well. It's especially strong for the Koreans because the looking at because of the ranged armor kicking in instantly. That's what I meant to say. But Koreans could also easily play crossbow arbalest, no harm in that. But for Arena, I'm kind of expecting a unique unit play. In the pocket here, we have bulk board with the Goths, so Nix's responsibility here is to buy as much time as possible for bulk board in the pocket to get that free boom with the Goths, to get to that Imperial Age Goths instant infantry spam from the barracks with perfusion and conscription and all that. You just pump out units instantly, and to pump out instant halberdiers, or for that matter champions, can come in very handy in the late game. But it's also not unstoppable if you look at the infantry upgrades of the Brazil team here. The best way to deal with Goff spam is to go into champions of your own, and if you have fully upgraded champions, you have better champions and overall better infantry than the Goffs. But yeah, it's going to be FC boom into Imperial Age here for the Goths, I think, at least if they are left uncontested. Oh, TC trick, a bit dangerous for the Goths, because the villagers, they kill the boar more quickly. But looks like Balcourt is fine here. Frédéric Chopin has the Cubans here. With, in the, yeah, I like to call it purple, some people call it pink. I'll stay with purple though. Would usually mean just, since it's a closed map, a second TC in the feudal age here into a feudal age boom, and then to overwhelm with cavalry or whatever the unit choice might be in the cast stage. 2 TC fast imp with keep checks from the castles comes to mind as well, depends on what unit composition you expect the other team to go for. Fantastic second town center position with the back main gold here though, so yeah, definitely set up well for a 2 TC play here for the Cubans. And finally, to the right hand side, the real hot soup as the Turks here. Now, traditionally Turks, fast Imperial Age has been a play seen a lot on Arena, because Turks don't need to research chemistry, and they get their light cav and hussar upgrades instantly as well. However, Turks have a proper power unit in the castle age as well, so you could easily go for a castle age push with Janissaries from the castle as well, an 8 range gunpowder unit, which is generally speaking hard to deal with in castle age because it outranges mangonels and it has 17 attack. So aside from the lack of accuracy for gunpowder units, the Janissary will also easily deal with relatively decent masses of cavalry units. Yep, 20 pop feudal age for the Cubans here. Going to go into that mini feudal age second town center boom here. And Turks going to go for the castle drop here. Going to stone at around 20 villagers here. Now let's have a look at Brazil's side. Teutons here for Cletius. So Teuton's team bonus is conversion resistance. Probably expecting the Turks Janissary play here, because that's 3 on stone for Cletius already. No, never mind. Didn't catch the feudal age. He's not going. He's going to try and stop the Turks from going for the castle drop overall, because here comes no less than 8 villagers moving forward for the tower rush. Something that the real hot soup is going to see very soon. Where is that tower gonna hit though? The best area to hit would be here, because on the edge of the map here, it's much easier to wall off though. So it's gonna go for this side actually. Starts pounding away the walls, might place the first tower over here. A 19 pop tower rush for the Teutons. And Teutons can garrison 10 villagers inside the tower. This is not a great spot to tower rush, because you see how the house placements go down here. It's such an easy wall off for very hot soup here. That's going to cost a minimal amount of resources to keep this aggression out, unfortunately. Oh! But that's a weak spot. That's a proper weak spot for the Teutons to break through. So that palisade gate actually going into the stone wall there, that has to be sort of a misclick, or... Okay, maybe it's gonna work after all. But finally we have Khmer for Bart in the pocket, probably an FC boom there. Capiting of the Bohemians. It usually means a... Oh, that's a lot of berries. What's happened here? Maybe he killed the boar with the TC or something, and to have to look into that later. And Spectre with the poles, stocked up religious cavalier comes into mind, or the Obuk against the Goths maybe. Maybe the poles will need to go infantry here because of the Goths pocket of the Australians. Is this gonna work for the Teutons? 2 towers already up here for Cletius, getting some. I can't say value just yet, but successfully idling the Turks at least a little bit here. The real hot soup. 2 towers already up here for Cletius, getting some. I can't say value just yet, but successfully idling the Turks at least a little bit here. The real hot soup. 2 towers already up here for Cletius, getting some. I can't say value just yet, but successfully idling the Turks at least a little bit here. The real hot soup. just shy of 100 food to go to the next stage here. Places a defensive tower because they are on stone already here, so that should keep the aggression out nicely. As the castle age has been clicked for... Wait! Yeah, Khmer 24 pop castle age here, 27 pop for the Bohemians. The thing about Teuton's tower rushes is that they can garrison 10 villagers inside the tower, so they'll always win tower wars like this with their additional villagers. You can see from the fighting here that the Teuton's tower deals... Where's the damage? Okay, he's got fletching, that's probably why he's dealing more damage as well. Scout patrolling in between there, distracting some of the, or trying to distract some of the tower fire. Scouts out here for green and blue as well, trying to find another point to break through. Could get some assistance from the tower fire here, and this guy... oh, that's a smart move to move around there to re-wall, to sandwich in all of the Teuton's tower rushing villages here, so... have to say, great tower defense from the Reload Soup here. Certainly getting the advantage here. Not able to go to the castle age yet though. Second town center is up for Bart in the Khmer pocket, so the tower rush is successfully buying the Khmer player time to boom here at least. But the Cuman's boom is at work as well. 39 villagers for Frederic Chopin. Still needs quite a bit of food to go to the next stage. Also needs 2 buildings, the blacksmith market for example, or in this case going to be the blacksmith stable most likely. Triple town centers for Bulkward with the Goths. Only 24 villagers here though, so I don't know what's up with that idle time over there. Pretty heavy stone investment at home here. Kaipitinga with the castle now for the Bohemians. Expecting some kind of forward aggression from the Koreans for sure. Finally, looks like the defensive tower goes down for the Reload Soup. Still not able to go to the castle age either. So, seeding some farms here. Is this going to transition more into a fast Imperial, perhaps? Still keeping the aggression out here. While Nixie places the... oh, that's it. First castle pretty far in the back for the Koreans here. Maybe afraid of a Bohemians push here. Kapitinga not really planning any fast Imperial shenanigans here though. 2 towers now for blue here. Really wants to win that tower fight and punish through these houses to further set back the Turks, who is admittedly still in the feudal age. But now Spectro is adapting to the situation here, not going into booming with the poles here, but has that folwark economy set up so that boosts the early food income. The knights are out and Tetchus is going to be stuck in the feudal age for quite a while longer here, and as the villagers try to move further from the tower rush here, the addition of the knights here is going to strengthen the continued tower rush activity here. Gold in the back for Reload Soup here, which is harder to contest with towers. Double towers to defend here now, so, but also going to the cast stage here, so that explains the insistent defense here. That's a lot of villagers gone down for the Reload Soup actually. I didn't realize it was that bad. Husset wagons for the Bohemians, going to push forward with some of those, actually already did. So the defensive castle far in the back, this could have kept the Husset wagons maybe from breaking through here if the castle had gone down a little bit further forward. Great pressure from Brazil E on their home map here. They are Doubling up on the Knights, but now the Cumans player in the Castle Age here. Frederic Chopin should be able to change things up here. Could even mix in some camels if need be. Because Cumans have access to camels. It's just that they don't get heavy camel in the next age. Poles Knights pulling back here. What's the economy situation? Double stone walls from the Kletchus at home base here. Interesting. Maybe worried about a Turk's Castle Age push after all. There's the castle for the Turks player. Is there enough stone for a castle though? Far from it because of the tower defense. 18 builders lost here for Orange. There's not going to be any Janissaries seen here anytime soon. And all things considered, it turns out the tower of Kletchus works out beautifully here. Forward castle to pressure the Goths as well. That's a great initiative by Kapitinga here, even though the push on the Koreans isn't quite working out here. To obstruct the Goths, important. Don't give the Goths a free boom. 4 towns centers here for bulkward. Could be dangerous if bulkward reaches the Imperial Age unobstructed here. Even with the economy losses of Australia Sea though, they're still keeping up with Brazil's economy progression here. Cavalry investment from the pocket well ahead for the humans, as to be expected with that extended feudal age boom, giving a stronger Castle Age economy. Speaking of boom, the Riddle Soup with 3 TCs now, securing stone, securing the main gold in the back, and trying to get back into the game here through multiple town centers booming. With the pressure from both sides here on Brazil, Bart has had a completely unobstructed boom by the Khmer in the middle here, even snagged some relics for some additional gold income. And it's going to the Imperial Age here, which will give Khmer access to, well, battle elephants comes to mind, even though they would be eaten by Goth's halberdiers probably, but the Goth's economy being contested here as well. It might have been free for long enough to make a difference here though, but that castle, even though Kavitinga probably doesn't know, that's a great castle to take out one of the golds of Bulkward, and this other side, so both golds forward for Bulkward. It's certainly not ideal. Forward siege workshop for the Khmer. Is this going to be Scorpions actually? Scorpions on the Goth's pocket. Khmer Scorpions, extra range, +1 range. Could also be siege ramps to take out buildings more efficiently. Defensive castle in a nice spot for Bulkward here, but they do, as mentioned, have Khmer in the Imperial Age here. Looks like the Husset Wagons won't worry too much about Castle Fire either. They have quite high pierce armor, so they can camp Castle Fire for quite a bit. Imperial Age now for the Goths. This is crucial timing for Brazil to significantly damage the Goths here, otherwise that Goth spam is going to come back and bite them here from Australia Sea. Cuban's cavalry also coming to join in to deal with the Bohemians push here. If you have a sizable amount of cavalry, you could deal with small amounts of Husset Wagons, no problem, because they have the range, yes, but their base accuracy is limited, and they also don't really have any melee armor at all. So melee units should be doing well against the Husset Wagons. Here come the barracks for the Goth spam. And looks like, what's the plan for the Khmer here? Going into siege jam, okay. So C-trap, but C-trap and what? Heavy stone investment here, but that's to secure the middle area, I guess, the neutral resources. We're going to need something more than just the rams from the Khmer here. And elite battle elephants comes to mind. Power unit in the Imperial Age for the Khmer. Koreans not really contributing here for Australia. It's only 5 war wagons, but the economy has been kept safe from the Bohemians' aggression, so definitely ahead of the Bohemians player here, Nixie. Another layer of stone walls now for Kletius, just extending those walls, maybe thinking about long-term trade here. Maybe they want to actually try and wall off the full middle here to secure a safe trade route at home. Cuban's cavalry in the masses here, 32 to 30 here. Poles are with the Schlachta, no castle yet, but if Spectro gets that castle up, the Poles should be able to match the Cumans because of the cheaper gold-wise investment. But the thing is, with the Goths in the Imperial Age now and the second castle going up, that should give Bo3 the potential of double trebuchet production here. That means that the forward castle of the Bohemians will be going down as well. Heavy Scorpions of the Khmer now, probably with Goths infantry in mind here. Halberdiers, they are going to eat, they are going to melt those knights of the Poles that are currently on the field. But it looks like it's more or less an infantry switch going on for the Poles here anyway. War wagons couldn't be doing too much against Hussite wagons, because the Hussite wagons have 7 pierce armor. However, they could assist in the fight here against cavalry. Janissar is now out for the Turks. Finally, the castle is up. Still not going to see Imperial Age just yet, but the farming economy is developing nicely for Australia Sea. They've established an economic lead here as well, and a slight military lead as the forward castle of the Bohemian goes down, and the halberdiers of the Goths are going to take down the Hussite wagons here, aided by war wagons on the other side that won't be doing too much to the Hussite wagons in particular, but the villagers could easily be focused down, and the halberdiers and Huscarls combination should also easily be focusing down the remaining Hussite wagons here. 2 castles at home though, so Hussite wagons still an option here for Grey, but the army number is dwindling for Brazil, as again Australia Sea are with a massive head start to the Imperial Age here. All of the players about to approach the Imperial Age here, whereas for Brazil it's only going to be the Bohemians and the Khmer for now. Lots of siege workshops. Still that free Khmer boom coming into their advantage here, as the heavy Scorpion numbers has increased. And 7+2 range for those. Siege engineers is it in as well. That should make things a bit more awkward for the Goths pocket here to push. So it's a great unit choice. Looks like double crossbow is in for the Khmer. Yeah, look at the infantry of the Goths going down here, and that should be the case for the war wagons as well. This is a unit mass that with the current army composition is hard for Australia to deal with. They need to get some siege on the field here, but they do have Koreans on the team. The siege workshops go up, Koreans siege on gears. That's the response here to mass Scorpions. If you, I believe there's lots of hardcore bulk order here, but no production. What's going on? Eco issue? No. Resources are here. Why isn't bulk producing? Why isn't it producing anything? There we go. Okay, we're back from the production. Perfusion seems to be in because the Huscarls are pumping out at lightning speed here, so to speak. Imperial Age is kicking in for all of Australia now. Actually slightly behind in the economy now, as Brazil keeps trying to wall off the middle here. They're still thinking about that trade. They're going to place markets here eventually, if they succeed in closing off the map. And by walling off like this, they're also strengthening their own heavy Scorpion play. Onagers are out for the Koreans, which means that the reinforcements, at least, of the siege weapons here will be at risk of being taken down. It's a huge mass of heavy Scorpions, but maybe not unmanageable. 46 Cuman's Cavalier on the way as well. Paladin not quite. Oh, great potential, great engagement for humans here. Look at this, all of the Scorpions going down. It could be a game-deciding fight for Australia, honestly. That's a fantastic spot by Frederic Chopin there, taking out 40 Scorpions just like that. Amazing engagement, wow. And just like that, Australia are about 70 military ahead again. There comes Jin Ki-chon for Koreans. That's the unique technology affecting their onagers, effectively reducing the minimum range, I believe, and making it even easier to deal with the heavy Scorpions of the Khmer. But that heavy Scorpion investment is all but lost at this point. Trying to remass them, as we are in the Imperial Age. Slinging is allowed as well. So Bart sending food here to, who was it? Kapitinga. Eco-wise, teams still somewhat tied here, but now a defensive castle of the Teutons going down here. No crenellations or anything on those. For Cletius, the barracks are up because they need to contest that Goth spam, as is the Obuk, which should be doing, the elite Obuk should be doing decent against both cavalry and the Goth's infantry, to be honest. But it's a strong army mass pushing out here for Australia. See now, see Korean siege onagers, no joke here, with 8+2 range, and the war wagons in front as well. That's a very expensive but yet useful meat shield. We have the hand cannoneers of the Bohemians here. That's a reaction to the Goths infantry spam, but sadly they will be struggling against siege onagers with 8+2 range. The siege onagers outrange the hand cannoneers here, so they won't really be efficient against the infantry investment anymore. Halberdiers and Cavaliers here. Yeah, that's Halberdiers from the Teutons as well. So 2 players of Brazil going infantry now. Frederic Chopin doesn't seem to worry all that much about it, as the Paladin numbers are higher than the Teutons infantry. Lacking the last infantry upgrade, but aside from that, fully upgraded Halberdiers here. Topsides only needs to hold now for Australia though, as they are pushing into the Bohemian space. Heavy Scorpion masses of the Khmer increasing again, but we have the siege onagers here to deal with that. Cavalry archer switch coming in for the Turks now. So going to go into a more mobile option here from the Turks. With the food economy currently at work, and it's like Hussar Janissary will have made more sense, but you get the mobility with the cavalry archers, of course. Could use that to your advantage to move around the map and help the west side if need be. Some hand cannoneers going down here. Another splatter shot from the onagers, and look at the kill count of those 18 kills for these mass heavy Scorpions. How many now? We have 44 of them, so we got the numbers back, and some patient amassing of heavy Scorpions here. Not quite breaking into the economy yet, but the Huskarls are in here to raid a bit now. We need more siege onagers here. Only 2 siege onagers for Koreans. That's not going to be enough here to deal with the massive group of heavy scorpions in this choke point over here. Definitely going to need more siege weapons here. Bomber cannons added from the back as well. That also... No way! Okay, I guess maybe we don't need more siege onagers. That's half of this heavy scorpions gone again. And even with some hussars in front, that's just not enough to keep it away here. Lots of stables here, so I'm going to have that hussar meat shield in front of the heavy scorpions eventually. No sign of any trade yet, so gold could become an issue here as well for Brazil. In fact, it has become an issue unless the Poles player sends some resources to the teammates over here. Behind this, we actually have some working trade for Australia as well, so they're on top of things. Let's actually keep an eye on the trade stats for now to see how that develops for them. Australia just seems one step ahead almost all the time here, except for maybe the early tower rush of the Teutons there that might have caught the Turks a little bit off guard. Heavy cavalry archers for the Turks. All of the appropriate upgrades seem to be in here. As the Poles players try to push with some winged hussars here, Poles should be getting some bonus attack against archers, so when they get close to the cavalry archers, they should be dealing some bonus damage again. I didn't catch if Poles got the Imperial Age unique technology here, the Leichtek legacy, but if they do, they deal some trample damage as well. So then Brazil actually pushing back a bit topside here now. Halberdiers and winged hussars is mainly trash, but if they can gain enough terrain here and wall up and secure a little bit of a trade route, maybe having the Bohemians down isn't such a bad thing after all. Siege tramps now in front to tank some, maybe especially the war wagon fire here. As the keeps are up for the Koreans here, but the siege tramp could make quick work of that. Once again, we need the siege on the Gers. They could clean up a lot of this. Once they pop out, they could take out a lot of the heavy scorpions here. So dangerous not to have anything in front of the heavy scorpions here as the siege on the Gers complete. Let's see if the siege on the Gers can get some hits in. They pop out on the backside. If they popped out in the front, they might have been able to get some beautiful shots in on the heavy scorpions here, but it looks like the Khmer will be able to push back the Koreans a bit here. Siege Tramp's not able to take down any of the towers here. Koreans getting keeps instantly as their civilization bonus. Where are these siege onagers still coming in from the back? But lots of scorpions here again. Will the siege onagers be able to get close enough? It's 7+2 range for the probably heavy scorpions. It's 8+2 for the siege onager. Only need a couple of shots, but there's also only 2 siege onagers here again. Still no trade for Brazil though. Look at the trade kicking in for the humans here. Almost 40 trade units. However, Brazil has managed to get into the trade route here. Are they going to push this back, turn this around? I mean, Poles trash doing some work here. Robuk joining in as well. War wagons diminishing. They're going to go down to the scorpions now, perhaps. Siege onagers in the queue again, but they're coming from the back here. That's close to the trade route as well. Heavy scorpion from the Khmer with the double crossbow in here as well. 2 shots, 2 projectiles per shot here. Light cab from the Bohemians. That's not something you see every day. Bohemians have some of the objectively worst cavalry in the game. But here they are, fielding whatever units they can here to stay in front of the heavy Scorpions pushing here. Gops Halberdiers coming back into the production here, but they're not going to get even remotely close to the heavy Scorpions over here. Looks like the trade raids have been mostly cleaned up here, but another volley of units getting close here. Lots of barracks pumping out for the Gops. Double walls in the back here from the Koreans as well, so it's still a while to go until the home base can be obstructed here. That's a dangerous castle in the front for Australia though, going up for Brazil there. That's quite close to the trade route, and with the unique technology for the Teutons, the granulations later on, that could actually hit some of the trade units over here. But this is the real issue here for Australia now. They need more siege weapons to deal with this heavy Scorpion situation. Trade finally started a bit for Brazil as well. Well, look at the cavalry archers somehow made their way into the back economy of Bart here. So the Khmer population decreasing rapidly here. What's going on? They must have been... Look at the economic kills of these big cavalry archers. 69 eco units probably killed now. Eco and military, I guess. But yeah, doing some serious work here, forcing the Khmer player to pay some attention at home. That might be obstructing their, well, taking away their attention from the front situation here as well. Hufnitze now on the field for the Bohemians, so I guess some sling has been, yeah, received 10k sling here. More siege soldiers out now, but now a defensive castle where the heavy Scorpions can camp out. So this castle needs to be dealt with first. There are trebuchets here to do so. Koreans with siege engineers in here. And the war wagons and siege onlookers staying close to make sure. But the Hofnitze, the C12 range, could still get some nice shots in on the siege onlookers. Good, or the trebuchets for that matter, to make sure this castle stays alive. It needs to stay. It's saved by the bell there, so to speak. Out only 400 hit points. Halberdiers and Cavalier in the trade route again. See, the trade is being obstructed here by, or for Australia. Gold situation compromised, which makes it a lot harder to get siege onlookers and other units on the field. Cavalry archer raids finally dealt with here as well, but the Hiko KD pretty impressive for the real hot soup over here. Now Australia forced on the defensive here. Lots of ranges back up for Nixie here. Is that going to be hand cannoneers again against the Goth spam perhaps? Or maybe just skirmishers as a cheap meat shield in front of the heavy Scorpions. Oh, needs such a power unit in the late game here. And they have 7 of them now. Outranges the... I was going to say they outrange the keeps, but actually they don't. It's 12 range for the Hufnitze against the 8+5 of the keeps. Still, they should be making quick work of the buildings if they get their hits in here. And with the meat shield in front to soak some keep fire, you could keep pushing here with Hufnitze. Halberdiers out in the trade line yet again. Cumans forced on defensive, wasting some paladins here to fight their counter unit as well. Fetching coming in for Cumans. I think that's mainly for the town centers here in the case of any raids reaching the home base. Catrams out for the Teutons and Teutonic Knights as well. Really? I mean, make use of your forward production buildings, I guess. Heavy Scorpions, it's a slow but efficient push here. The War Wagons not able to do anything against this. Look at that AD for the Goths, so 597 to 1000. It's like it's a pretty common Goths KD, to be honest, but still to see so many units going down, that's nasty. Infantry is cheap for the Goths though, that's why you often see these stats from the Goths in late game. Hufnitze back at it here, only 5 of them now, but the keeps should be going down to siege trams now. Hufnitze could push the castle behind. Villagers scrabbling up new keeps here to try and keep this push from moving closer, but the Heavy Scorpions should be keeping the Goths spam away here. While yet again obstructing the trade humans, 50 trade units now, no less. Deleting the markets to extend the trade route further back here. But it's not working freely here, this trade route. Let's have a look at the actual gold income here for both sides. Teuton's definitely back on the gold situation here. And yeah, trade put efficiently into work for Brazil E here. I think they got the full line as well. Might need some more market for optimal efficiency. Koreans also going into pikemen here, and they are lacking the last attack upgrade, so their halberdiers won't be nearly as efficient as those with full upgrades. But losing the trade for Australia, I guess the Cubans player could sling some gold here, or no? We most definitely need the siege weapons here for Australia. So we need the Korean siege onlookers here to deal with this choke pointy units mass here. But with Hufnitze out, it makes it a lot more awkward to focus on this as well. Because the Hufnitze had 12 range, they have huge attack and some area effect as well. Yes, the siege onlookers will be dealing nicely with the Heavy Scorpions, but the Hufnitze should be able to focus them down from a distance with their mobility. Lots of pikes here though, still. Fantastic hold by Nyx here, holding this mainly alone here, but the trade route is once again being compromised. While at the same time stabilizing and not being able to raid for the on the Brazilian side. So Brazil, they are pushing back here. They are slightly behind in military numbers by the looks of it, but they have the stronger units combination as well here, as they're able to create their own choke points and play into the strengths of the Scorpions over here. Stone walls, yeah, these haven't seen any attempt at completion for a time yet. I don't know why Kletchius is chopping these trees. Maybe it's just to get the full wall up here eventually. Poles siege rams in the middle of the trade route now, and another Poles castle going up here as well. Lots of castles for the Poles to mass up the elite Obuk. How many castles? In fact, it's going to be a total of 7 castles for now for the Poles. Really would have liked to see in the Crenellations tech and some Teuton's castles here as well though, because that would really make the trade situation even more awkward. Well, it looks like the trade is actually being relocated further in the back, but there are hussars here to obstruct that for Brazil as well. Brazil have been incredibly patient here, seeing one of their flanks almost go down to the Australia pressure, but now back on top of things. It's not by any means decided though. Australia has the massive military lead here still, and they still have some trade running, so they have gold access. fight on the left-hand side really at a stalemate. Another wave of siege rams to go in the front here. Work as a sort of a meat shield for the heavy scorpions and Hoofdnietse. Oh, that's dangerous having them this close. If there had been an Ecumen's cavalry here now, these Hoofdnietse would be dead meat. Oh, could be a misplay of Kapitinga here, but it's only pikes. No cavalry here to snipe this. The cavalry is busy chasing the trade line. And Goths halberdiers fighting Obuk here. That should not end well for the Goths. Look at this, look at the Obuk stripping the halberdier of armor, but they are very cheap and fast to mass though, so I guess you'll still need even more Obuk here to comfortably do it. Skirmishers from the Turks! Is that really the best option here? I'm not sure if I've ever seen the skirmish in Turks Imperial Age skirmishers in the in an Imperial Age late game scenario ever, but there they are. There they are. Siege rams from the Khmer here. Could we have had any infantry to garrison inside these to boost their speed and attack? Maybe not. Heavy scorpions in the front now. No. Onagers, siege onagers back in the queue here for Nixie, but they're not out yet. Just a few lucky shots here, and you diminish the heavy scorpions yet again. But the hussars are being massed here as well, so they're going to go in front to try and prevent any siege onagers from getting to them. We also have the siege rams here, aiming for the middle production perhaps. Goths halberdiers on either side here. Somehow the Goths halberdiers have been able to deal with the wave of Obuch over here. But it is Brazil pushing. They're getting more castles up. Once again for the Poles. Poles collecting stone to get that passive gold collection from the stone as well. Able to drop so many castles here. It's not an easy job to push into the Brazil base here with the amount of castles that the Poles player has put up here. 8 castles is about to become a 9th. No, it just completed. So that's yeah, that's 9 castles for the Poles. Brazil now with a massive military lead here, getting yeah. Look at the kill count of the Scorpions, by the way. 565 kills for this group of Scorpions. It's ridiculous. Oh. Putin's gone into some heavy scorpions here as well. They benefit from the Khmer bonus with the +1 range here. As even more castles go up, and the villagers are going to complete this one. Getting closer and closer to the Australian Sea trade route, getting closer to what could become a third game as well. Another castle! How much stone does Spectre been collecting in this game? How much stone can you possibly... It must have been buying stone. Yeah, he's buying stone. And surely you could do that, because the trade is running freely in the Brazil side now. We're going to have a look at the trade situation later, but the GG well played is called. Australia with some great momentum to start it, but Brazil taking the second game here. We're going to go into a third game here in this best of 3. And yeah, I would go so far as to say that's a comeback for Brazil there. It's a solid comeback that put themselves at a semi-disadvantage with the tower rush up top against the Turks, but that did keep the Turks from going into Janissaries or fast Imperialist play as well. But it did face some serious pressure. We did see Bohemians taking a serious blow in the mid-Castle Age, late or early Imperial Age there, but then they somehow managed to stabilize, get their trade running eventually, get into the Australian trade and turn things around. It's going to be interesting to see Poles stone collected here. Look at the military score for the Poles here. And the Goffs KD, I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's 18 out of 70 units lost there from the Goffs. Poles with a whooping 1369 units killed, and the Khmer as well. Scorpions, heavy Scorpions alone, probably with 700 or so with these kills. Economy situation, stone collected, whereas stone collected for Poles with 4,976, actually quite a lot for the Bohemians as well. So going for the Hussite wagons play there. Khmer and Cumans pockets comparable in the economy situation, but much more trade profit for Cumans. Didn't really sling much here in the Imperial Age, however the Khmer player did. Probably playing pop capped with the Hussars and Heavy Scorpions there, and then Relic Gold. Enough to play and make a difference here as well with almost 8k. Cumans fast, second easy here. Teutons with the 18 pop tower rush. Delaying the Castle Age obviously, but also delaying the Turks' Castle Age. Ten castles in the end for the Poles. Just slowly and efficiently pushing into the Australian base on their home map for Brasilia. This means that we are going to the last remaining home map. That's going to be Australia's home map on Arabia. I'll just cross out the civilizations here before moving on to the next one. That's the Poles, Bohemians, Khmer, and Teutons winning on Arena, leaving us with Mongols, Mayans, Sicilians, Franks, Burgundians for Arabia. I guess they want the Paladins for Arabia, so these are the pockets, and then the Mayans, Mongols for the flanks. Whereas for Australia, we're going to cross out the civilizations used here. They are with Magyars and Slavs pockets here, okay? So Slavs, and then the Vietnamese, Japanese flanks. It could be Hindustani's pocket as well, so it doesn't have to be Slavs, but the advantage of a Slav's pocket is your military buildings provide population space, so that sort of indirectly strengthens the flank instant ranges, double ranges play, because you get 10 population space for your 2 ranges, right? So, could be, but it's a late pick, so I would envision maybe Hindustani's Magyar's pockets here, which are arguably stronger than Frank's Burgundians, especially moving into the very late game. But let's have a look. Let's see what the last game brings. It is indeed Hindustani's Magyar's pockets. We're here with Arabia. Spectro with the Franks pocket in the green here. One of the best pocket civilizations in the game, I would say. Cavalry instantly 20% more hit points starting in the feudal age, leaving Franks with the strongest hit points wise paladins in the game. On the other pocket, we have the Burgundians, as suspected. 50% discount on stable upgrades, but no bloodlines in exchange for that. Burgundians also getting Cavalier in the Castle Age as a compensation for the lack of bloodlines. So there's still definitely a cavalry civilization with a strong economy. And yeah, going to play into an early Cavalier in Castle Age, and then as a result a very early Paladin in the Imperial Age as well, which could provide a useful power spike. On the right hand side, and pretty far away here, we have Bart with the Mongols. Might be moving out early for a lane here, or just to pull in the hunt. Yeah, we're going to have a scouts run in here. Who gets the first hit? Are they going to see each other? Okay, maybe it's not the scouts fight. Maybe it's just pushing the hunt. Yeah, so Mongols, faster collection of hunt.
Yes.
Meaning you can get a Much faster fuel age, if you want to. You could go probably as little as 17 population scouts, maybe even 16, and still have a decent economy, well, low, but usable, I should say, economy behind it. And of course, if you then go 18 pop scouts, you're more easily going to afford your economic upgrades and all that jazz. Finally, though, on the other side flank, we have Mayans for Capitinga. Strong flank for open land map team games. The Mayans get 10, 20, and 30% discount on their archery range units throughout the feudal, castle, and imperial ages, and they get 15% longer lasting resources, which means their gold will last them longer. Which means if they stay on the defensive wall of their base and just stay on the defensive, they can stay for slightly longer to survive. Wood League, says Shakuni. Well, why are you laughing, huh? Are you laughing because wood? Oh, you haven't seen the last of it, Shakuni. There's been 2 more leagues added for the eliminated teams of Wood League. It's now going to be Ash League and Roots League as well. So we have 2 more lower divisions yet in the Nations Cup, and I'm fortunate enough to be playing in the lowest one. I think I'm in Ash League. Oh, maybe not the lowest one, maybe the second lowest one. I'm not sure. So for Australia C, we have Bulkport with the Japanese flank here. Resource drop-off points cost 50 wood, not 100, so that frees up some wood for your double range play. You could open infantry as well, of course, with like a man-at-arms opening. Not too common in team games because it's just easily countered by the straight archers play that's most commonly seen in team games these days for the open land maps. Eagle Scout forward here for Capitinga. Japanese still no loom, so that could be dangerous. Could lose 1 villager here, Bulkport. Bart also successfully picking off 1 villager off the Vietnamese player here, as we can see, with the starting scout. But as a result, getting the scout walled in, so maybe not worth the efforts. Hindustani's pocket here for Choo Choo, going up at 19 villagers. So that's obviously going to be the scouts from the Hindustanis pocket. Hindustanis great boom with their cheaper villagers throughout the game. Frederick Chopin with the Magyars going up at 20 population because the Magyars don't have any eagle bonuses in the Dark Age. However, once they reach the feudal age, their scouts are 15 or 20% cheaper. I don't remember off the top of my head. Bulkwood actually going for an infantry play here, so it's going for the men-at-arms, surprisingly enough. Not too common, that seems suboptimal against the Mayans, but damage is damage. If you can get there. It's clever walling here for Capitinga, though. Walling in towards the TC, maybe already seen the barracks going up there, meaning that... actually not seen it, but even so, the way that Capitinga is walling here, the infantry opening of the Japanese shouldn't be doing too much. Could still catch a pocket off guard, though. You could move the infantry in towards the pocket if they're not fully walled, and then still do some damage. Finally, we have the real hot soup here as the Vietnamese, revealing the towns at the location of the opposing players here, so you know who's up against who. Feudal ages kicking in here, as we can see in the Portuguese text on the screen, and yeah, population's quite comparable. Australia see more on the aggressive side here, all on 20-ish population situation here. First range coming up for the Japanese here, men-at-arms on the way as well. 20 seconds to go, and the Japanese breaking through the walls deceivingly fast as well. If men-at-arms had been in here already, maybe they'd be able to break through, but not going to do so here. Mayans player reacting properly here, getting the buildings up in time, and even with the faster attacking Japanese infantry, I don't think you could keep this aggression out. Maybe the first archer should pop out over to this side immediately here to try and deny re-walling behind, but the range is up for the Mayans. Archers in the queue as well. The first few archers should easily be able to clean this up. Team bolts already form for Brazil E here. That's the perks of having shared vision by default. That's... Honestly, you could argue that this is damage done by Australia C. It's 3 villagers scrambling to repair this house before the first archer can pop out here. And it also sort of forces the Franks player to send the scouts over here to defend the push. Not much eco kills to be seen thus far. Mayans player struggling with some idle this time here. Maybe a little bit... They did pull villagers off berries to repair the houses there, so that could explain the lack of food for villager production here. Looks like Australia C are on top of things military-wise here, trying to chase down the Mayans Eagle Scout as well, but now staying close to the flank side here. It's quite a bit of walling to do here for Bulkboard still. Does Bulkboard know? No, it doesn't know about the woodline. Doesn't stretch all the way to the edge there. Mayans archers picking up Bulkboard's first wave of Japanese archers here. Massive numbers advantage for the Mayans archers now, but can Choo-Choo offset that with the scouts? Not really, because the Franks scouts they have, until Bloodlines can be researched for Choo-Choo, the Franks scouts have a hit points advantage. And overall, Brazil slight military numbers advantage here. Economy dead even. No, actually it's very even. They're dead even in population now, Australia and Brazil. Rooting for Australia because they have a cricket team. Are you sure Brazil doesn't have a cricket team, Shakudi? I guess Australia is geographically closer to you anyway. Even fight here, but hill advantage for Australia C here. They're taking 1 hill each here. The hills almost within range of each other. Yeah, camping the hills here from both of them. Don't want to take unnecessary fights here. Brazil had one, but it's low little legend. Okay, yeah. So like the Norwegian hockey team then, I guess. It's the best comparison. Norway, we're good at winter sports, but we suck at hockey. Cricket, I'm pretty sure we don't have. I mean, there are amateur cricket teams, but definitely no national cricket team for Norway. Single player cricket, that sounds boring. Just playing against the wall, that can't be any fun. Then you might as well just play squash instead, or something. Alright, Hindustani scouts chasing the Franks once here, denying the walls of Bulkboard for now. Choo-Choo pulling them back, actually. Pretty dangerous to have the Frank scouts roaming about in the back here. Bulkboard walling off his teammate as well. Okay, doesn't want any reinforcements over here. Splitting up the scouts. Maybe it's gonna be enough. The defense is in, at least for the yellow player, so that should offset the hit points advantage of the Franks. While in the south side here we have matching armies again, but looks like the Burgundians player is on top of things. Eco upgrades obviously in nice and early for the Burgundians here, taking the hill against the Magyars. Massively outnumbered now, the Magyars player, but the Castle Age is on the way as well, so that is a significant head start to the Castle Age for the Magyars over the Burgundians at least. But we do have the Franks going up as well. Nice little quick wall there to keep the waller safe. And looks like Bulkward is going to complete the right-hand side wall here to the edge of the map. So committing all of the scouts at home to clean up the Franks masses. But cleaning up these scouts, that means no more Franks cavalry on the field to threaten the situation either. Brasili. 2 players on the way to the cast stage now. That would be the Mayans and the Franks. They keep a military lead here now. They simply have more scouts out and about, and now working together with the Mongols here as well, who just kicked the castle age. We'll have to be careful with the archers then, because you want to keep your archers' numbers alive to survive until the crossbow accurate can be researched. But the progression towards the castle age, it is ahead for the Mongols by small margins here. It's just about 5 seconds. Maybe not enough to make a difference here. Also, the scouts not staying together with the archers here. We may be looking to raid the pocket player Frederic Chopin instead. But the Magyars player is in the cast stage, so you can't really dive in and raid there either, because the knights will easily clean up here. Who's the top Aussie AoE player? I think Soxy is one of the absolute highest, yeah, but you could have a look here. That's the sheet with all of the Nations Cup teams. It's a seeding chart that should have the yeah, ratings of all the players at the point of seeding, at least. Let's see, 1 minute 20 for Castellate for the Burgundians still, so no light cav upgrade. This third range going up here, pretty darn decent farming economy here for the Burgundians. Enough on gold for at least double stables production. Top side we have the Mayans with a healthy group of crossbows here as well. Let's see the Bulkward getting crossbow bodkin. Should be able to get the crossbow bodkin before the crossbows and knights of the Franks Mayans can catch up here. But where's the pocket assistance from the Hindustanis? Camels in the queue here, but that's a huge group of crossbows here. That doesn't really play into the favor of the Camels investment here. Could be massive damage done here by Brasili topside here. They have a cavalry lead over the pocket. The upgrade situation is comparable, but it's let's have a look at the actual crossbow masses. Slight numbers lead from the Mayans, but triple range production from the Mayans, and they have 20% discount as well. Both were trying to scramble up a TC here in the midst of almost sniped the down center foundation there. This is going to be, I think it's worth it for the Mayans to focus villagers here now, actually. Villagers over military. Just take out, no, maybe not. Could have gotten lots of the eco kills here, and still gets quite a few. Ballistics is in, so you fire more accurately. Walls still open here. Another wave of armies coming in here. This could snowball out of control for Australia into Brazil's side. Yeah. Sorry if you had a bit of a drop there. Hopefully I have a consistent recording for YouTube to go up. But we are going to see this game to the end of it. Strange town center investment there for Bulkward. He did risk lots of villagers' lives with that PC to secure the main gold. Back to the south side. I mean, significant damage done up north by the Mayans and Franks. Look at the military situation, almost double the military for Brasili. However, they're struggling to keep their economy producing consistently behind this. So they're actually not establishing any economic lead. They're only establishing a military lead, which also obviously is a means to win games. The higher military count tends to come out victorious. Looks like Kapitinga is going to aim for the Hindustani's pocket now. Probably going to find a weak spot to break through here and obstruct the income of Choo-Choo over here. Choo-Choo with the camels here. Not necessarily. What's the... There's a decent chunk of camels. If it's also 25 crossbows that can hit and run and find some choke spots or choke points over here. Breaking through. Probably going to risk losing most of this crossbow mass to trade for villagers here. The Mayans have an easy time replenishing units. Stays in the choke point now, going to pick up some camels as well. Great aggression here. Yes, the crossbows will go down, but the Hindustanis player will be losing camel numbers as well. Both were joining in here to clean up this mess. Maybe Spectro could get some decent trades here. Look at the camel numbers going down. Camels not exactly famous for their pierce armor, unfortunately. That's lots of army numbers lost for Australia here. Brazil is still on top, and now on top economy-wise as well from the economic trades here. Hill advantage for Kapitinga's army mass over here, but now a 2-versus-1 situation, going to lose the forward crossbows here. Need to regroup and replenish, but that's in the workings at home base, so still great value from the forward attack. More rangers for the Mongols here to double up on the military production. 33 crossbows for now. No player aiming for the Imperial Age just yet. However, it's getting close for the Mayans. Look at the resources here. Kapitinga could actually go for a fast-ish. It's not fast anymore, but it looks like we're going for the Imperial Age. Actually, just missing the second building. Cavaliers for the Burgundians, Knights for the Magyars. Somewhat equal numbers here. What's the upgrades like? Full upgrades for the both of them, so that should be a better fight for the Burgundians. However, Vietnamese crossbows doing work here, denying reproduction of units from the Mongols as well. Yep, there's the Imperial Age for the Mayans. Going to have a significant head start to the Imperial Age here, getting access to Arbalest and Bracer, which would be really bad news for the camels and crossbows, but Australia Sea definitely stabilized here somehow. Taking economic losses yet, yes, but with consistent villager production behind this, and now securing the walls at home here. Yeah, re-walling at home base. I think Australia has reason to be scared about the Arbalest switch, or not the switch, but Arbalest upgrades to come in for the Mayans in about a minute here. 30% cheaper archery range units for, or archers line units for Mayans as well in the Imperial Age. But Australia see with the numbers, momentum now, subject to some raids from the Burgundians on this side, and aided by the Mongols' crossbows perhaps. Oh, some Burgundians, yeah. Some teal and green over here. Splitting the forces. It's still about 1.5 minutes until Bracer kick in. Okay, they need to dive here now. Australia need to dive now against the Mayans numbers. I think they know that they need to risk the chance here to try and take out the crossbow numbers before Arbalest here, otherwise they're looking at awkward fight. Okay, they don't risk it actually. They don't want to go into the Mayan space here. That should free up some time for Mayans to get Arbalest Bracer. Economy definitely allows it. And on the right hand side here, trying to break into the Magyar's pocket as well. Look at the resources here, nowhere near any Imperial Age click. However, the Vietnamese player, the real hot soup here, is going for Imperial Age and has a larger group of crossbows than the Mayans currently, applying some serious pressure on the Mongols side. So it's still anyone's game here, I would say. It's there's no... Australia sees slightly ahead, but the Arbalest here could shake things up as well, because you can't really fight this with Castle Age camels and crossbows. Yeah, hit points and numbers wise, Australia sort of ahead here, but it is Arbalest with Bracer against crossbows and camels, more camels joining in. Camels should be able to deal with the Franks Knights, but not so much against the Arbalest. Only missing chemistry now for Kapitinga, and we're basically fully upgraded, missing the last armor as well. Some Vietnamese crossbow raids at work here, but they're diving deep into the Mongols' base now. Might be the best move at this stage on the way to the Imperial Age. That means that all of the crossbows will be going down before the Arbalest upgrade can be researched. Oh, and look at the raids in the Magyar's home base. Frederick Chopin. He's only one town center. Stuck in the castle age with 29 villages. What is this? Massive raids from Brazil here. They're just completely obliterating the Magyar's pocket here. Frederick Chopin relocating to the right hand side, but losing the crossbow mass forward for the real hot soup as well means that that this Imperial Age isn't really going to give the Vietnamese all that much other than access to trebuchets, perhaps. Reds adding town centers and Inco instead of trying to go up. Well, when your pocket is dead, maybe that's what you need to do on that side. Arbalest chasing bulkboards, crossbows here as well now, and the knights in front should be a cleanup. Look at the military situation now. It's now ahead for Brazil E. They have established a tiny economic lead as well. They have the Franks going into the Imperial Age. But the Hindustan is also going to the Imperial Age here. Now another TC on the... This is Purple's gold, isn't it? Okay, heading back into the base. It's... This looks like a... Okay, we still have a decent chunk of Arbalest here from the Vietnamese, but the Burgundians now diving in crossbows from the Mongols. Also the Mongols not really going to see Imperial Age here anytime soon. Diving in underneath Castle Fire here. No sign of any Imperial Age for the Burgundians either, so that's behind for now, but we are going to see Franks, Cavalier and Paladins soon, and maybe we'll even see some... I guess the Franks will focus up top side here, get the castle up and try to push bulkboards home base over here. Only 3 military for the real hot soup here, not going to receive any assistance. Look at the ecos count from Frederick Chopin here is down to 16 builders. It's not going to provide anything anytime soon. Look at the resources, just nil. Zilch, nothing. So one player completely out of the game for Australia C here. They are significantly behind in economy and 100 behind in military as well. This is Australia C's home map as well, so it's interesting how they actually put up a better fight on Arena. Crossbows take out castle, Rams successfully taken out forward castle as well, which should allow free access to the Vietnamese base over here soon enough. Top side, oh, the mass of Arbalest and soon Cavaliers with the plate mail armor going in here as well. There's plate guarding armor. Plate guarding armor. Yeah, 100 more builds with Brazil E now. Imperial Age is in, but Heavy Camel still 20 seconds away for the Hindustanis. I don't think it will make much of a difference either against almost 60 blue Arbalest here. Red had to go in further, otherwise the yellow camel mats can never engage. Yeah, it's true actually. It's camels just can't engage against Arbalists. Maybe Imperial camels in the proper mass, but look at this fight here. It's still going to go into Brazil-E's hands. Yes, some of the Frank's cavalry will go down, but the Arbalist mass still very much intact for the Mayans. 44 Arbs here, and there's the Imperial Leads for Bulkboard, but he's being chased by Cavaliers of the Franks now, and also the Arbalists. Definitely not going to be able to keep up with the Mayans' masses now. Still skewing out of 3 ranges as well. 2 castles going down for the Mongols. Now, so Bart still in the castle age, yes, but not joking around here, pushing with battering rams. Looks like he's pushing his own castle here actually, but yeah. Scrambling up a defensive castle here for the real hot soup. The Mongols can't really push with trebuchets yet, but there are 6 battering rams and with army to join in here. Frederick Chopin trying for the reboom here, but still going to be at least 10 more minutes before the Magyars can be reckoned with here again. And in that time, I think Bulkboard is going to be pushed back enough for Brazil to close down this game as well. Shakuni with the 105 in the chat here, maybe it's onto something. It's still a 100 military lead for Brazil E, and they have some army advantage here as well. It's a deciding game, so you can see how Australia would want to keep fighting here as well. And once again, we lost the connection. So we're back after a tiny drop here to see the conclusion of Brazil E versus Australia C. And there should be no way Brazil loses this game, no way. They're pushing on either end. Even the Mongols player is going for the Imperial Age here now. 52 villagers for the Magyars pocket, yes, but look at the top side, Bulkboard with a tiny chunk of Arbalists here, but not nearly enough to withstand the Mayans' forces here. We're lacking some siege weapons here, maybe. Paladin coming in for the Burgundians as well, and which is probably best utilized to raid the Hindustanis pocket at this point, because the Franks and Mayans can perfectly fine push Bulkboard on their own over here. And yeah, looks like we don't even need to raid the pocket here anymore. Australia C incapacitated on both one pocket and one flank here. It is indeed a best of 3, and Brazil E takes the 2-1 after losing the first game on Golden Lakes. So all in all, quite even set here in the Wood League between these teams, but it is Brazil E advancing to what I think is the single elimination stage that moves into the Wood League finals. Wood League round of 16, I think, comes up next. Look at that Mayans KD, 324 to 150. That early Imperial Age certainly helping out against the Castle Age Camels of the Hindustanis as well. Convincing economic advantage here for Australia overall. Did hit the Magyars at just the right point as well, with double cavalry, no less, from the Burgundians and the Franks. Great raiding efforts there. Really set back the Magyars and just took that light cavalier play completely out of the equation. Nice pun there, Shakuni. If OC could, they might continue in the Ash or Roots League. Yeah. I'm not sure if they signed up for that or not. But that does conclude it. It's a 2-1 for Brazil E. And that's going to be it for today.